What's up, you guys? So ordinarily I do these Hammond collection reviews on my desk, but this figure is just quite frankly too big to be reviewing on my desk. And in case you're wondering, and well, you probably have already predicted it, today we're going to be doing a tour review on the Hammond collection Brachiosaurus. Now, this figure is kind of anticipated-ish. I mean, it was revealed on Beyond the Gates as of June, and it's been sort of spreading to Targets. I mean, the situation is kind of weird. When it released, it's been out of stock at Targets for like ages. And then all of a sudden it started resurfacing to Targets. And apparently with the Hammond collection, if you had pre-ordered it, you can get some sort of Mr. DNA thing. I don't know. We might check that out. But anyways, I used to think that this render was, well, it's not really a render, it looks like a picture of the actual figure. But I used to think that this was pretty hideous, and I mean, it still kind of is. But it doesn't look as hideous as it used to before. But let's take a look at the box. So here we have the dimensions of the animal. It's 69 centimeters tall. Nice. Although 27 inches tall, so not nice, I guess. And it's 109 centimeters long, max. And there's the Hammond collection logo. There's the species name, unassembled, for ages 8 and up. Here's a little QR code-ish. I don't know. Maybe I'll show that. Okay, that's been seen, and there's the Mattel logo. And here it is standing up on its iconic pose, and here it is just propped down. There's the 30-year anniversary logo. Let's take a look at this side. We have the Hammond collection logo again. We have the Brachiosaurus name, and we have a picture of the animal. The sight of the first dinosaur on the tour of Jurassic Park caused Dr. Alan Grant to not only stand and remove his hat and glasses in shock, but he also physically turns Dr. Ellie Sattler's head so she can see what he can't believe. A massive Brachiosaurus. Welcome to Jurassic Park. Anyways, and here is another side of the box, the long way. In case you ever want to keep this box, which I'm likely not going to keep this box because this figure is already pretty massive alone, and I can't keep this thing. But here it is in its iconic pose with a very hideous looking neck. It says, highly posable with moving and authentic detailing for dynamic scene creations. And there's John Hammond, Ellie, and Alan Grant. And on this side of the box, we have the usual side renders like there always is. We have the Hammond collection logo, the Brachiosaurus, the movie, and we have Mr. DNA again. But anyways, let's get this thing open, shall we? So I'm going to be using an X-Acto knife. Don't do this at home, kids. I haven't really stressed that enough before. But again, don't use knives at home unless you know what you're doing or you have parental supervision. I haven't stressed that in months, maybe even years, but okay, just gonna get this thing open, so. Oh, who am I kidding? I'm not even gonna keep this thing, so I might as well just rip it open. So, besides, that's what these things are meant to be. They were meant to be ripped open. Boxes were meant to be ripped open. Okay, so. The figure does come unassembled, so yeah, don't expect a fully assembled Brachiosaurus when you get this thing. There's some tape in there, so we are going to need the X-Acto knife for that. And here it is. And let's just cut it. Let's open that panel and that panel. Let's just take that little box tray thing out. And we are already seeing parts. I have a Brachiosaurus leg, and there is a Brachiosaurus arm, and there is the tail, I'm assuming? Yeah, it's the tail. And there is also another Brachiosaurus arm, and there should be one more leg in here. Oh, I think I've got the body. Alrighty, so here is the neck, I'm assuming, and there's the other leg. I can already see this thing, and here's the little Mr. DNA thing, which, before we take a look at the Brachie, let's just take a look at the paper. How to make a Brachiosaurus. Private tour of the Jurassic Park Genetics Lab hosted by the park's creator John Hammond with Mr. DNA. So you take a mosquito that's been fossilized in amber, and mosquito feeds on the blood of a living dinosaur 100 million years ago, which Brachiosaurus didn't exist then, so that's already inaccurate. Find fossilized amber with a mosquito trapped inside, and then extract the DNA from the ancient mosquito. Use the frog to fill in the gaps with the genetic code. Bingo, dino DNA. Life finds a way. So, yeah, apparently you have to use a frog in order for this to happen. And we have a picture of the Brachiosaurus. Anyways, let's get this body out, shall we? And Jesus, this body is huge. Alrighty, so we need to get the plier cut. Well, we need to get the wire cutters, you know what I mean. I don't know why they packaged the extra leg in here with the brachie, or at least the neck. All the other parts have been packaged without it. But anyways, let's just get all the parts out. Let's just start off with the body. Which, I mean, Jesus, the body is massive. And, I mean, look at this thing. Here it is compared to my hand. Of course, it's hollow inside, so, you know, it's not entirely dangerous, but still can be potentially dangerous. I don't even know why I'm stressing this. Brachiosaurus arm, leg, other leg, tail, if I can find out where it's to. Okay, here's the tail. Now, where's the other leg? I had multiple legs. Oh, I found it. Arm. Let's get the head out. I kind of like the feeling of the rubber, and the head looks pretty nice, and the mouth can open pretty decently. I kind of wish it would close all the way. Well, I mean, it closes decently. And the eyes, they look majestic, really. But anyways, let's try to assemble this thing live on camera. I may have to cut to it whenever it's done being assembled. Jesus, this is, oh, Jesus. Ugh. Let's try to get all the legs on there real quick. So we got leg B. Okay, so let's just twist that around, and let's just twist that foot around. And let's just plug it in. Alright, that's one leg. Now the other. This is leg A. Alright. Let's just bend the legs a little bit so that way I know where I'm putting things. If you want to find videos with better assembly, or at least a better representation of the assembly, well, there are other people that review this thing that show the assembly better than I do, so, yeah. I know I'm already reviewing it right now, but, I mean, if you came solely to watch me assemble it perfectly, well, you're gonna have to find some other person to assemble it. Now let's get that leg on. And for the final leg, let's get that one on. Alrighty, so we have a headless and tailless brachie. And we have the head right here, and the neck actually feels quite hefty. But anyways, let's get this tail on, and let's just prop it up right here. Alrighty, the tail is on. It is on a hinge joint because this figure is far too big for it to be on a ball joint. I mean, this part's on a ball joint and it's very tight actually. But I mean, then again, it is understandable to like make that a hinge joint. Now let's get the head on, and let's just. Alright, it's on. Now I'm gonna cut to when this thing is propped up properly. Alright, here is the Hammond Collection Brachiosaurus, and so yeah, let's take a look at this thing. So right at the bat, it's pretty huge. One complaint I do have right at the bat is the underbelly color. I don't necessarily like the orange, pinkish beige look. Hold on, let me get this leg propped up a little bit better. That's better. Oh, now the arm is having an issue. Now that's better, and that's also better-ish. Okay, I got it. So now, right off the bat, this thing's head looks decent. I mean, the teeth were painted on pretty nicely and whatnot. it just looks kind of weird in the mouth. But I mean, at least the mouth is fully painted inside, unlike previous, like, very early releases, like for the ones from the promo images and whatnot. But anyways, so the head is on a ball joint, and the jaw can open and close. The neck, it can move a little bit, although it can't necessarily move that well. It is on several ball joints within the neck, but that's the best I can do to get it downward. And upward, it still can't necessarily do that well. It can go like that, or you can move it like that. But personally, it looks a lot like a horse cock, so I don't want to move the neck around so that way, because I don't want to look at a horse phallus every single time I see this thing. And in terms of turning it left and right, that's about all I could do for it. Anyways, so the arms can move, elbows can move, and the feet can move, and so can the thighs and the knees and the feet. The head can also move down very tightly, like that. At this point, that's unnatural, so it's probably not going to be displayed like that. The tail is on a very huge hinge joint. I mean, not as big as that, but still a huge hinge joint, and it swivels full 360. The tail is this segment of the tail is also on a ball joint, so it can move pretty decently there. Okay, so now this part of the tail is also on a segment, which I don't necessarily like the tail articulation too much. But let's try to prop this thing up in its iconic pose, which I'm just gonna have to get off camera for that because this thing is just too big. Alrighty, I have managed to get her in this very iconic pose, and I mean, it's pretty decent. I'm probably not gonna keep it displayed like this because, well, I mean, I wanted to look somewhat natural. I mean, the Brachiosaurus couldn't really stand on its hind legs that well. Well, the real one couldn't. And besides, this thing is basically modeled after the giraffe titan, and yeah, I'm kind of upset that the Brachiosaurus didn't necessarily look too much like this. Although I'm gonna need to set her down now. But anyways, sorry that this review is pretty short, but yeah, such a massive figure deserves kind of a short review once in a while. So yeah, I'll see you guys in the next video, and goodbye.